Something I always thought is, I would always bring up is like, what would you do? What job would you be working right now if money wasn't an option? If the money didn't matter? That's my driving force, because there's money to be made anywhere, in any profession, any job. More money to be made in certain jobs than other jobs, but like, yeah, what would I be doing?
What would you be doing?
I'm doing it. Okay, well, this is what we're working with right now. This is one of the 8-foot communal tables. This has been one of the trickiest pieces we've done. My name is Sebastian Karim. I'm an artist and designer living in Southern California. I've been here about 20 years, just over. These are my notebooks. Notes from class, weird little drawings, a lot of math classes and art classes. I mean, I've been drawing my whole life. For some reason, since I could, I did. I would draw all the time as a kid. I would draw myself life-size costumes on paper and then tape them to my body and walk around. I would draw anything I wanted in the world, I would draw it. There's a lot of math in here. So I studied math, I took a lot of math classes. A lot of different fonts, I love fonts, some old work. Here's like, that summer I went to Europe. This is kind of like my whole path. Here I was making a lot of these maps. I used to call them mapstractions, and I would start the pen somewhere, and every turn, every stop would move this pen around the page. And by the time we got there, it turned into this crazy abstraction. Who knows what I was doing that day? Crazy stuff. Learning about pistons, learning about AutoCAD, rotational dynamics. Oh yeah, I was designing a logo, conservation of energy, a lot of math, tattoo designs. Like this guy right here, being pushed and pulled in all these different directions, but ultimately, if you look at his legs, it's the same man, and that's kind of, who I am. I was a little too artsy for my math friends, and a little too mathy for my art friends, and learning about limits, projectile motion, the Phoenix method, elements of design and architecture. I was always trying to find where my place was. Where do I fit in? After college, I started teaching just with my math background, pay the bills, make some money, so I could make art. I started getting into architecture. I really liked it, but I felt that I couldn't be a really good designer if I didn't know how to actually build these buildings, build things. And I wanted to know the other side of it. But also, it was a bad time to be studying architecture. I mean, this is right when everything crashed in the recession, and architecture majors, they had the lowest percentage out of every major in college to get a job. So I wouldn't say gave up on it, but I just kind of set it down for a while and turned my focus to teaching. Left Angle came about because I was sick of sitting at a desk, sitting inside of a classroom teaching math. I had the dream teacher job working at one of the best schools in LA, and I was really unhappy, and it should have been like my dream job. I just remember focusing more on the desks that my students were using and how they weren't working well with what I was trying to accomplish as a teacher in teaching them. And I was just focusing more on the furniture. Teachers are encouraged now not to just lecture, but to get kids to work in groups, work together, learn from each other. But the desks themselves aren't really made to facilitate that. They're kind of individual desks, those kind of L-shape with the chair attached to it. And you try to bring them together and they're not really made for that. You know, they're all kind of at that angle and they're coming together and you're trying to work on a poster together as a group. And it's not helping. It's doing more hurt than help, really. They weren't really made well. And the moment was probably when I was in school to be a teacher. We're learning about how people learn, how people need to learn, and told how important it is for our students to work together. And here we are as future teachers coming together, and the desks that we're learning on aren't even made to like help us with that. Once I got hooked on that, it was just everything else I was learning kind of just took the back seat. I really knew inside of me, like, I need to be in design. I shouldn't be in a classroom teaching. I should be in a studio creating. Here is the first drawings of the Hexadesk. Desks that have the ability to group together to create one large seamless workspace that help people work together while working together. I think even when I got that job teaching full time, I brought this book out and I showed the guy hiring me. It was the head of the school. And it was part of why I got the job, I think. You know, that little did he know that that was kind of what got me out of it too. That obsession and that passion overshadowed, you know, the teaching itself. It was really where my passion was really held. It's like rain on your wedding day. It's a free ride, but you already paid. I don't know. I mean, a big thing was with my dad. His biggest regret was never following like what he loved to do, what he was passionate about. And that's why he always wanted me to follow my dreams. He got his kicks when he got off of work. And he didn't want me to turn out like him. With my career and teaching, and it was hard. I mean, I was depressed. First time in my life I was depressed. I hated going there every day just for this fucking paycheck. So I would be stable and have my bills paid. And eventually I was just like, I hit the wall and I was like, I can't do this anymore. You know, I gotta get out. I gotta do what's right for me inside of me. And I lost, eventually my relationship just fell apart. You know, you put all your eggs in one basket, you know, your other baskets are gonna suffer. But I had to do it. Lost a lot out of that. It still hurts. But if that's what I had to do, that's what I had to do. It's tough though. I'm still living fucking check to check, barely scraping by just so I could live this dream. I couldn't even see how another person could fit in this life with me right now, where I'm at. I don't know. I don't know, man. Oh, fuck. You don't need money for everything, for a lot of things. People always think, oh, I just need to get some money and then I can do that. Then I can get started on this. But there's so much that can be done before you actually need the money. Writing out the plan for it. You know, steps that could be taken beforehand. I mean, the way I started this business was probably with $100. Got on Craigslist, bought a $20 table saw, bought a $40 chop saw, $15 nail gun, and a $5 pack of nails. Got a bunch of free wood, trash wood, and built my first piece. You know, I started with a dining table and then a coffee table, a credenza. With Left Angle, it's like our angle was that we worked with and work with leftover materials, shit that would end up in the trash. Taking that trash, refining it, cutting it down, putting it all back together into something that's greater than what we started with. Honestly, I never really considered Left Angle and what I do as woodworking. I saw it more as design, sustainable design. I mean, I love sustainability. I'm obsessed with it. It's definitely where we're going. We're realizing we can't just chop down trees or be wasteful, and it all starts with design. We got to design them differently. We have to have the bigger picture in mind. That's what really, really gets me going. Whether I'm cutting wood, whether I'm drawing something, whether I'm designing a logo, whether I'm creating anything, it's all the same energy. It's the same force. It's just we're using different tools. And every different tool has a different technique. And then from there, you're just doing the same thing. No, this is definitely not a job. Whatever that means. I like to work though. I love working. But a job? I don't have this like checklist I need to check off. Gotta have the house, gotta have the nice car, gotta have the kids, gotta have the career. You know, I gotta have this, I gotta be somebody. You only got one life, you only have so many years, and if you're gonna waste them all, on what? I don't wanna look back and have regrets about how I chose to spend my time. For what? For $1? For $10? For $1,000? It's not worth it to me. No amount of money is worth it to me. No amount of money can bring this life back.